Hello, and welcome to Quinnville. I'm Marstanum, and this is Mars Plays. Today I'll be showing you how to use Bob, the tree and prop replacer, to replace the base game trees on your map and in your buildings with workshop assets, or the new trees by Mr. Mason added to the game in the last update. I've added a link to the workshop page for Bob in the video description below, so you can try it out for yourself. Believe me, it can make a huge difference in the aesthetics of your city. We'll also replace some of the network trees using the new base game network tree replacement feature, and then take a look around the city once we're done. This is something I've talked about doing a few times in previous videos, getting all of these trees changed out to new ones. So let's go and do that. I've got a list already of what I want to change the trees to. First thing we're going to do is these original bushes. They all look like they're floating. So any screenshots I take, or I'm kind of low, it looks like they're hovering. I can't even get them to come down. They're at terrain level already. So let's do that one first. Now, to get to Bob, I have this unified UI, so I have to open that and then click on the Bob emblem here. And it automatically has the tree, or in this case, bush that I selected highlighted. Now, over on the right is going to be my list of things to change it to. For some reason, when you click on a tree, even though it should be a direct tree replacement, it's going to have all the props and stuff in here as well. In order to change that out, I just click on props and then click on trees again, and it sets this to trees only. And on the right side, I could either scroll through and find the tree that I want to use to replace it, or I could type the name in. We're going to use the wild hedge from the new trees by Mr. Mason. All of those have this MP9 in front of them, so that makes it easier to find just those. You see in brackets here, it's got that V. That means it's a vanilla tree. That means it comes with the game. It's not a workshop asset. So if I did hide vanilla, I can hide all of those and just pick from things that I've downloaded from the workshop. But since the new Mr. Mason trees are so good, we don't want to do that. We want to leave them available for us. So then click on this, and then I'm going to click this little checkbox. So it looks like it unselected our bush for us over here. So now it'll let me click this little check mark. There we go. So now every single one of these bushes in the game has been replaced with this wild hedge from the Mr. Mason set. Much, much better looking asset. And that's going to be everywhere on the map, but only placed directly on the map. If it's in a building as part of a building's landscaping, it will still show the old stuff. See right here. Now, a note: when you change things that are placed directly on the map, it will change in the save game what is placed here. So even if I uninstalled Bob, even if I unsubscribed it and never opened it up again, every single bush in my game that was the old kind is now going to be this kind of bush. So just something to note and to keep in mind. I'm also, now that I've done them on the base map, I'm going to replace them in all the props. You see, they do that same floating thing here when attached to the buildings. Do not like it, so let's get it fixed. Again, I click on Bob. I click on the building that I want to change the trees in. And here I've got three options. I've got props, trees, or both. So I click on trees, click on the tree or bush that I want to change, and find the one that I want to change it to. So I could just scroll down, look through the MP9s until I find it. And then my options here are I can change individual trees in these buildings, so I could change bush by bush. I can change all trees of this type in all buildings of this type. So I can't just change all of the trees in this one instance of this building. Bob is kind of an all or nothing as far as that goes. Or I can change all trees of this type in all buildings, and that's what I want. I don't want any of those original bushes left in this build. So we go to Bush, Wild Hedge, click on Apply and Save. Now take a look. It's got these new bushes in here. It's got them on this different type of building. It has with this different type of building. Every single building in the game that had that old style bush now has the new style bush, and it looks much better for it. So now that you've seen what I'm doing, I'm going to go through and do some more of the trees around here, and you'll slowly see the map and the build start to transform. Okay, this is Tree 3 variant, and I found that the leafy full that I have from the workshop works pretty well to replace that. So go here, and we'll click on that, and every single Tree 3 variant will be changed into a leafy full. The beeches. There's a ton of these beech trees in this build. That's been one of the main trees that I've been using. Yeah, you can see they're all highlighted out here, all over the place. I'm going to use, for this one, I'm going to use leafy regular. That's this one. This is Tree 2 variant. You can see that it notes that we've done, what replacements we've done already in the main map. But we're going to do this Tree 2 variant right now. And this large regular bush green, again, a workshop asset. You can tell that because there's no V in the brackets, is what I want to use for that. Very similar looking asset. And the alder, that's another one that there's going to be a ton of around here. I got a million of these in the build. And we're going to use one of the new Mr. Mason pack trees for this one. That horse chestnut. Now let's look and see just from that the kind of difference that we're looking at here. Looks like, that's a building tree. So see, the ones in the building haven't changed, but all of the ones outside have. Doesn't that look just a lot more full now? The vanilla trees attached to these buildings really stand out since we've changed the others. And the this nice areas landscape with mostly workshop and Mr. Mason assets don't stick out quite so much anymore now that the other trees have been replaced. We're also going to do that for all of these assets. So let's do this here. First of all, let me finish out the trees around the rest of the build on the world map, or on the base map. Okay, bush 02, I'm going to use common Tree 3 sprawl. One thing also to take notice of, like I said, it shows what we've already changed. So if there's something that exists on the map in the world that I want to replace, I can just click on it here, and even if there's none on screen right now, it will change all of them. So done the bush 01, done the alder, done the bush 2, done the tree 2 variant, tree 3 variant, beech 01 low. So let's find the U vanilla tree here. I want to change that to the live oak from the Mr. Mason pack. And the Corsican pine, I want to change to this leafy tend. This saves me having to hunt them down all over the map. Don't think there are going to be any more. Oh, there's a sugar maple that I wanted to change. I think we're going to leave the rest of these alone for the time being. That should be all of the trees that are just out in the world changed over now. I think that looks really good. Let's get the ones that are attached to buildings changed. To me, they really stick out now that we've changed the trees around the build on the map. So, same thing that I did on the world map. I'm going to use the horse chestnut for this. Make sure all of these types in all buildings. And good. And again, you can see it's changing them in all of the different versions of these houses. Wonder if I didn't forget to switch over on some of these to replace them in all buildings. So it looks a lot nicer. So now we just kind of go ahead hunting and find the ones that we didn't replace. Looking pretty good. Okay, now there's a place I know we're going to find a few. Just in the parks, these buildings have all sorts of different kinds of trees. And also we're going to change, I'm going to change the network trees as well. Same way that we do all the others. And then I'll show you how to do that with the new tree replacement feature. It's really simple. So click on that sugar maple. And having selected it here, that should change them all in all networks all over the entire city. Of course, I forgot to change all trees of this type in all buildings. Do as I say, not as I do, clearly. That to me feels really nice. The Chinese windmill palm is one of the few that I'm going to leave alone. And the replacements that I have for it are either too tall or too short, staying as a palm tree. And I don't mind how these look at all. They're pretty inoffensive to me. All right. I can see that we have not updated these trees on this network. All trees of this type in all networks. Excellent. Oops, that's not the one that I want to use here. I want to use this one still. Very similar in character to that other one, but it looks fuller and more real, like it's an actual tree. Gonna take a quick look around and make sure there's nothing that sticks out. Looks like it hasn't been swapped out. Like this. See, I don't think I replaced all networks when I did the park earlier. Since this is a different type of network from that, I can go in here and change sugar maple, all networks, and change that to the young linden. Yeah, those are really nice. And no more floating bushes either. Yep, those have been changed, so we're in great shape there. Now, in addition to being able to do that through Bob, I can individually go in and change each segment of a network using the new tool with the last major update. So what I'm going to do that here to make this area, this old Quinn Park, special with a different type of tree planted along the sides. So I'm going to go and hit this User Made Assets button. Make the UI there hide. Let's find the tree that I want to use. I'm going to use this juniper. And for this, you just get the tree selected like you're going to place it, and then click on a network instead, and it will update that. So I'm going to back up here, and we'll do it to this entire area. And you can see when it is not using this type of tree, it'll be blue. Once I click it, it changes to red to show that it's already in place. So now we come down here, and it's got these junipers lining all of the walkways. It's pretty special to me. Same goes, of course, with these roads. If I wanted to change any of these out. Like, I think putting royal palms along this road on the beach would make a lot of sense, so let's do that. So I'm going to just use my picker and grab one of these royal palms and then place all of this with these. And here's yet another trick for you. If you have the network multi-tool, now I've done this before, so you may have seen this already, and there's stops on either side, so it won't change. Well, it looks like there's only a bus stop on the one side. So I want to make this the same type of road as is going on all around here. So to do that, I go into the network multi-tool. I'm going to hit the unlock segment mode. So I unlock this segment. See how it changed from that green to orange? Then I can go in here, pick this street type, and upgrade it. Now, see, it's using the trees that we changed to for this network type using Bob, but I want it to use this royal palm. So same thing I did before. Click on that, updates it to using those palms. Looks really nice now. And then I'm going to go back into Network Multi-Tool, and I'm going to relock that segment so that it is once again part of this ferry stop asset. It just tends to work better if you switch them back. Now here's one thing you can run into sometimes with replacing stuff. The trees, if they're tall enough, will get into the things above them. Fortunately, there is another royal palm asset in here. I've got a short one. So just for that, we'll use the short guy for underneath the bridge there. Very good. Now I'm going to show a few cinematics views around the city, so you can take a look and see what this place looks like now that we've updated all of these trees. I think the city's looking pretty good right now. There is something that we need to address that I saw as I was looking around setting that up. We find one of these bikes, protected bike lane roads that we have. I love these things, but that's not enough clearance. Poor cyclists would have their heads smacking into the trees the whole time, so we need to change just this network type, what trees are attached to it. So let's go ahead back into Bob, and we want to make sure that it is on all trees of this type in these networks, this network only, because otherwise they look pretty good when we're watching cars and stuff go through them. I have to find a tree that's tall enough at the base, so I think we might want to go to a London plane tree because I love how those work with their nice tall bases. How about a young London plane tree for that? What does that look like? Yep, that's plenty tall. Let's use that for all of these. That looks really sharp. Lots of cover, lots of clearance as well. Yep, mail truck can get under there just fine. I'm saying roads like this, they're not fat enough to block actual traffic lanes, so they look all right. Just trying to make sure that I don't need to adjust anything else. Yeah, everywhere else they seem far enough from the traffic lanes to avoid having it become an issue. So we'll leave those be and call this one good. Well, I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you enjoyed watching me pretty up the city. Certainly looks good to me. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment. Tell me how I did. Let me know if I missed something or if I helped you out. As always, like and subscribe if you feel that I've earned it, and enjoy the ride.